Some of Michigan's leaders are stepping forward today to publicly express their opposition to a package of GOP-backed bills they say are aimed at suppressing the vote. Secretary of State JOCELYN BENSON, along with Detroit City Clerk Janice Winfrey, held a virtual press conference to address the 39 bills introduced in the state legislature. Both Benson and Winfrey say the proposed changes to Michigan's election laws would make it harder for people to vote and are part of a countrywide effort to tip the scales in favor of Republicans.
Georgia, Arizona, Texas, Iowa, Wyoming, soon Ohio. We're seeing the exact same bills, exact same language in some cases, sometimes worse, sometimes more in line with the code of the state. But in nearly 47 states in this country, over 250 bills have been introduced just since the beginning of this year.
But Michigan GOP spokesperson Ted Goodman says the Dems are grasping at straws.
I think it's convenient for Democrats to try and loop in election reform legislation around the country all in one basket because they refuse to even talk about it, right? You even mention the topic of election reform and they immediately renounce it, denounce it, and refuse to engage.
One of the bills would require anyone requesting an absentee ballot to attach a copy of their state-issued ID. It's a change both Winfrey and Benson say is unnecessary and would hurt voters.
There are already secure protocols in place to affirm the identity of the registered voter in the absentee voting process. They work well. That's why you didn't see widespread fraud.
However, party spokesperson Goodman says the bill is something voters want.
Voter ID is something that is overwhelmingly popular among voters, including the African-American community. And so when Democrats try and paint efforts to include voter ID legislation for voting, and they try to paint it as racist, they're lying, they're being disingenuous.
The Michigan GOP says all 39 bills are aimed at reform, but Democrats call the proposals suppression. Despite the differences in opinion, Benson says she is open to compromise.
I certainly am willing to sit down and talk with legislators in ways that can improve the fabric of election policies we have in our state. And indeed, I've done that.
Benson is calling on voters to reach out to their lawmakers to let them know that they do not approve of these proposals. Governor Gretchen Whitmer has already said that any bill that makes it to her desk that's aimed at suppressing the vote will be vetoed. Your neighborhood Capitol Beat reporter, Erica Murphy, Fox 47 News.